Good, inhaling in. Big exhale out. And as you begin to find the rhythm of your breath and it starts to become a little bit more with ease that you're breathing, you can seal your lips and practice just breathing in and out through your nose as best you can. And even though, you may not actually be on the physical, like dirt, grass, the earth, okay? If you're on the 5th floor, the 12th floor, the 1st floor, just really feel like that hand that's rooting down into the ground is really connected to the earth, right? Because we are actually all here on planet Earth together, okay? But try to let that feeling of groundedness really feel like you're rooting to the elements of being outside. Okay. And as you start to sense that in your body, notice like what happens in your body. Okay. I noticed like my shoulders had this like big sigh of relief, like they just dropped automatically. Maybe your brow line starts to lift and softens. Okay, maybe you start to feel this relief of being in the sun, feeling the breeze on your skin. And feeling that connection to earth, that connection to being grounded and rooted into self, because we are part of the earth. Our body is all of those elements, bringing us all together, right? And breath is the one thing that connects all living beings, all living creatures together. It's one thing we share. And then slowly just bringing your hands together at your heart center. Just roll your shoulders back, feel yourself lift up and out through your spine, out through the crown of your head. Good, and then slowly just rolling your eyes open, reach your arms up over your head. And then slowly just bringing your hands just on the edges of your knees or your shin bones. Okay, we're gonna move through cat and cow in our seated position here. So we're gonna arch our back, we're gonna look up towards the sky, if that feels okay. So there's our cow pose, and then exhaling, we're gonna round our spine, curling and rolling back. Okay, so inhaling cow, exhaling cat. Good, and you can make this as big as you want to or as small as you like. Arching up, coming into your cow pose, exhaling, rounding your spine. Okay, so we're gonna move through this just a few more times, and you're welcome to stay here in your cat and cow seated. Okay, so you can keep continuing to do this, or you can start to add on here. Okay, so the next time you're forward, you're going to stretch forward, you're gonna lean over to the right, and then you're gonna circle around nice and slow to the back, circling around to the left, and then forward, and we'll circle 3 times, okay? You can move as big as I'm moving, you can move smaller, okay? Notice, like how your spine feels, the side body as you're stretching. Good, and then we'll slowly reverse our circles, okay? So shifting forward to the left, circling back and around, again, just 3 times. Good, letting this feel really organic and allowing the movement to start to like generate a little bit of heat and warmth in your body. Okay, notice which foot is in front. Okay, we're gonna fold over our hips, just folding forward. Okay, and we're gonna switch the cross of our legs for the next round, but for now, just drop your shoulders down, drop your head down, hang nice and heavy here. Let the low back open up, let the hips start to open. Good, and then slowly rising back up. Okay, we're gonna switch the cross of our legs, the other leg in front, and then again, we'll do another round of cat and cow seated here. So inhaling, arching your back, exhaling, rounding your spine. Good, inhaling, arching up, and just switching the direction so you can kind of see how I'm moving here. I'm using my hands against my legs. Good. Good, And then again, you can stay just with this cat and cow variation, or you can start to circle in one direction 3 times. Good. Going as slow as you like. Maybe you only do 2 because you want to spend some time stretching through the side body, leaning back in those little sticky areas, stiff areas. Good. And then we'll slowly reverse the circle, going 3 times in the opposite direction. Again. Okay, great. And then when you're ready, we're going to fold over the legs here. Okay, with a, this different leg cross in front. So again, I'm creating nice balance and stability in our body as we round over. Great. Okay, slowly rising up, bringing the soles of your feet together, knees out nice and wide. Okay, we're going to bring our hands just back behind us. I'm going to lift up onto my fingertips, and I'm going to roll my shoulders, lift my chest. So I just start to get this nice little stretch through the front of my chest and my collarbones here. Just pressing down to lift up. Good. Good. And then from here, releasing your arms up towards the sky. And exhaling, hands at your heart center. Good. Arms reach out to the sides. And again, hands are to lower down to the sides here. And again, I'm lifted up on my fingertips just to kind of help lift me up a little bit higher. And I'm sitting up nice and tall. And then just drop one ear to one shoulder. Try not to collapse. Keep the length of your spine. Again, so that we're releasing all this tension from our neck, shoulders, our traps. Good. And use those fingertips that allow you to feel, again, grounded and rooted. Good, bringing your head back in line with your spine and just going the opposite direction, other ear to other shoulder, sitting up nice and tall. And then since, I can't be there to give you guys your own little individual massages, we're going to bring your head back in line with your spine. You're going to take your hands and you're going to give yourself just a little rub down, okay? So you can stay upright like this, just kind of squeezing your traps, okay? This muscle here from your neck to your shoulders, okay? You can even fold forward if you want and do the same thing. So you kind of add a little bit of a hip stretch, a little bit of like dangling of the head, neck, and shoulders, and you can kind of walk your fingertips up your neck and down your neck. Okay, good. Okay, slowly coming back up. Okay, we're gonna bring our legs together, and again, I'm just gonna turn to the side here so you guys can get a little bit better view here. Hands are gonna move back behind your hips again, okay? Fingertips can fan out. We're gonna roll the shoulders, lift the chest and the heart. So now we're kind of coming into a little bit more upright position here. Opening up through the chest. If it feels okay, you can lift your hips up, coming into reverse tabletop. Keep your focus forward here at first, and just really focus on lifting the hips up, rolling the shoulders back so you get this nice big stretch through your chest, shoulders, and biceps. Good. Hips lower down. We're going to straighten our legs. Legs can be together or shoulder distance apart. And then very slowly slide your hands down towards your ankles, just rounding over your hamstrings, folding forward here. Don't worry how far down you are. Just kind of notice where you're at today. Good. Rising back up, coming back up into that Dandasana. Okay, here's like your staff pose, your mountain pose, rolling the shoulders back, sitting up nice and tall. Take a nice big deep inhale in. Exhaling, sliding those fingertips towards your heels, dropping your head, lengthening over your hamstrings. Okay, good. Rising back up again, sitting up nice and tall, rolling the shoulders back. Take a nice big deep inhale. Exhaling, sliding those fingertips forward. Maybe you start to grab the outer edges of your feet or your ankles, going a little bit deeper this time. Okay, great. And then rising right back up. Okay, now we're going to open up our legs as wide as our mat, okay? So again, you can turn sideways on your mat if you want to, or you can still face the long edge of your mat. But going a little bit wider than shoulder distance, and then same thing, sitting up nice and tall. Exhaling, sliding those fingertips forward. Okay, stretching over your legs, over your hips. And slowly rising right back up. Sitting up nice and tall, finding that nice long spine. Inhale in, exhaling, fingertips reach forward, rounding your spine, drop your head, make it heavy. Good, inhaling, rising up. Here's the last one, sitting up nice and tall. Inhale in, exhaling, reaching up to the outer edges of the feet. Maybe you grab your ankles. Good, drop your head, make it heavy. Nice stretch here. Okay, rising back up. Okay, bending the knees, planting your feet onto the mat. Okay, and we're gonna move into that figure 4 glute stretch right away. Okay, so right ankle over your left knee, sitting up nice and tall. Okay, so we've already kind of practiced this position. So you can either cradle your right leg or you can have your hands behind your back. And again, roll your shoulders, lift your chest and your heart so that you stay really tall here and not so like slumpy in your spine, right? So you wanna stay up and lifted. Okay, so staying here, cradling, holding. Maybe the hips come a little bit closer to that left heel. Maybe you have to use your arms to help guide you there so that you get that nice stretch. Okay, good. A few more deep breaths. Okay, good. Staying here if you'd like to, or we're gonna slowly roll down onto our backs, interlacing our hands around our left hamstring, coming into the figure 4 glute stretch on the right side. Okay, so again, right ankle's crossed up over the left knee. Okay, flexing strong through the right foot. Good. Any small movements, you're welcome to add like any little circles or shifting from side to side. Okay, great. Slowly release your left leg down. Okay, you're gonna hug your right knee into your chest. Extend your left leg long onto the mat. And then 3 little hip stirs with the hip in one direction. Okay, and then 3 in the opposite direction. So 1, 2, and 3, and then slowly extend the right leg up towards the sky. And again, you can grab onto the back of your leg. We're just gonna flex and point through the right ankle and foot here. Good. And then remember, it's kind of like the first rounds of like our hamstring stretches. So again, you don't have to push yourself too much. We'll get into a little bit deeper stretches later. Okay, walk your hands up your leg just for a moment. Good, right knee bends. We'll come into a supine twist. So right knee comes across to the left side, right arm reaches out to the right. And then notice if this right hip wants to kind of hike up, you want to press it down so you maintain length from the top of the hip bone, from the bottom of the rib cage. So you want to keep your waist nice and open so you're twisting again from that upper back. It's not so much about how far down the knee goes, it's about the chest opening up towards the sky. Good. We'll stay for about 2 more deep breaths here. Good, stay for the inhale. And then exhaling, we're gonna slowly come back to the center, nice and slow. Let's hug both knees into our chest, okay? And then we'll do a little spine stretch here. It's kind of one that you normally do in like a Pilates class, so we're just gonna rock and roll forward and backwards a few times. Good, and then just enough so you gain momentum to come back up to that seated position. And then we'll switch sides. Left ankle over the right knee. Okay, here's our figure 4 glute stretch. Hands behind the back, okay, or wrapping your arms around your left leg, cradling your left femur bone, okay, as you're in this position, sitting up nice and tall. And then again, as you start to open up, maybe the hips walk a little bit closer towards the right heel. Good, a few more deep breaths here. Okay, good. And slowly lowering down, rolling down, interlacing your hands around your right hamstring for the figure 4 glute stretch on your back. Notice how the stretch changes upright to on your back. Okay, we're still stretching the same muscles. Okay, but the angles may feel different. You might get a different part of the glute. Okay, good. And then slowly release your right leg down. You're gonna hug your left knee into your chest. Right leg extends out onto the mat. 3 hip circles. So we're circling for 1, 2, and 3. Reversing the circle for 3, 2, and 1. Left leg lifts up towards the sky, just flexing and pointing through the ankle. Stretching through the backs of the calves. Good, and of course, feeling this in your hamstrings if you're nice and tight like I am. My hamstrings are just constantly tight these days. Okay, good. And then slowly walk your hands up your leg just for a moment, just for a little extra stretch here. Good, and then left knee bends, supine twist. Left knee comes across to the right side, left arm reaches out to the left. And again, maintaining that space from the bottom rib cage to the top of the hip. Nice open belly here as you're twisting, so you're not crunching up. Keeping that space in the low back and the sacrum as we twist. Okay, good. And then slowly coming back to the center, nice and slow, hugging both knees into your chest. And again, we're gonna rock and roll forward and backwards, just rolling a few times here. And this time we're gonna catch ourselves up into boat pose. Okay, so toes can be down, sitting up nice and tall, or legs can be in tabletop, your choice, okay, whatever feels best here. Okay, so now we're engaging the core, arms can reach forward. Okay, and then whether your toes are down or up, we're just gonna extend one leg up and then down, up and down, right? So just switching legs back and forth. And again, if your toes are down, you can do the exact same thing. Just lifting one leg, then the other. You can kind of switch it up and do a little bit of both, okay? Toes down, toes up, just straightening the leg and lowering down. Good, let's do 2 more on each side. Good, last one. Good, hugging in and then rolling over your shins or swinging your legs around to come into tabletop. Okay, so fingers spread out nice and wide, okay? We're gonna do a round of cat and cow, just nice and slow, nice and easy here, okay? So again, you start to kind of feel the difference of seated cat and cow versus on your hands and knees, so bearing a little bit more weight here. Okay, great. When you're ready, we're gonna make our way into our first downward facing dog. You can start to notice how the hamstrings feel a little bit more open. You can still pedal your feet out and sway your hips from side to side. Good. Okay, inhaling, looking up at your hands, slowly traveling to the top of your mat. Take your time. Inhaling, lengthening up halfway. Exhaling, folding forward, forward fold. Inhaling to slowly rise up to come all the way up to standing. Exhaling, hands at your heart center. Okay. Inhaling, arms reach up over your head. Exhaling, folding forward, forward fold. Inhaling to lengthen up halfway. Right leg's going to step back, low lunge. Okay, so here's our like nice little low moon salute here. Back knee lowers down. Keep your hands rooted down here at first, okay? So that we dip the hips, we roll the shoulders, we lift the chest and the heart. Get a nice full deep breath here. Good, stay for the inhale, and then exhaling, we're gonna straighten the front leg, half split. Good, flexing the toes up towards the sky. Okay, so now we get to go a little bit deeper here in our hamstring stretch. So you can stay here, okay, or you can start to walk your hands just over to the left side of your leg, okay? So hands are on the left, outside of the left leg. Okay, so switching up the angle of the hamstring stretch. Good, and remembering there's 3 sets of like major hamstrings, okay, muscles, but there's a ton of muscles, supporting muscles around the hip, okay? There's like so many of those in that hip joint that all kind of connect in the hamstring as well. Okay, from here, let's walk our hands around our left foot. We're gonna bend into the left knee, and then let's come into a twist, okay? Right hand down, left arm up towards the sky. You can keep the back knee down, or you can start to lift the back knee up off the mat. Good. Take a nice big deep inhale here. Exhaling, hands lower down, stepping forward, forward fold. Inhaling, lengthening up halfway. Exhaling, slowly fold forward again, forward fold. Inhaling to slowly rise up to come all the way up to standing. Exhaling, hands at your heart center. Inhaling, arms reach up. Exhaling, folding forward, forward fold. Inhaling, lengthen up halfway. This time, left leg steps back, low lunge. Again, take your time. Hands under the shoulders, dropping the back knee down. Stay connected to the ground so that you dip the hips, roll the shoulders, lift the chest and the heart. Okay, and a nice full deep breath here. Getting that nice big stretch through the left hip flexor, the front of the left hip. Good, staying for the inhale, and then on your exhale, straightening the right leg, toes flex up towards the sky. Good, find a little bit of a flat back here in your spine, maybe even think about cow pose, okay? And then hands are gonna move over to the outside of the right leg for a nice little hamstring stretch on the right side. Good, keep breathing. This one's a little intense for me, kind of changed up the angle on the hamstring. Okay, good. Hands around the right leg. You're gonna bend into that right knee, twisting, left hand down, right arm up towards the sky. Good, staying low, or back knee can lift up off the mat. Tuck your toes under, lift the knee up, twisting towards the right leg. Good, framing the foot, stepping forward, forward fold. Inhaling to lengthen up halfway. Exhaling, folding forward, forward fold. Inhaling to slowly rise up to come all the way up to standing. Exhaling, hands at your heart center. Okay, moving through our 3 sun A's. Arms up over your head. Exhaling, folding forward, forward fold. Inhaling to rise up. Exhaling, planting your hands, stepping back, plank. Okay, and of course, plank your way, straight legs or bent knees. We'll lower down halfway or all the way down, coming up into your choice of back bend. Great, and we'll all meet back in downward facing dog. Okay, good. And using our sun A's, we did like a pretty long warm up, so we're really using our sun A's to generate some energy and to generate a little more heat, okay? So we're not gonna hold in our downward dog as long, okay? So we're gonna look up at our hands. We're gonna travel to the top of the mat. Lengthen up halfway. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, rise up to come up to standing. And we're gonna bow forward right away on your exhale. Inhaling, lengthen up halfway. Exhaling, stepping back, plank. Lowering down halfway or all the way down. Back bend of your choice. Good, downward facing dog. Good, 2 more deep breaths here in downward dog. Good, stay for the inhale. Looking up at your hands, traveling to the top of your mat. Lengthen up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhaling, rise up. Exhaling, folding forward right away. Last one. Inhaling, lengthening up halfway. Stepping back, plank. Good. Lowering down halfway or all the way down. Back bending. And downward facing dog. Good. 2 deep breaths. Inhaling in. Exhaling out. Last one. Inhaling in. Good. Exhale out. Looking up at your hands, traveling to the top of your mat. Lengthening up halfway. Exhaling, folding forward, forward fold. Inhaling to rise up. Exhaling, hands at your heart center. Okay, really great. Okay, we're gonna move to the long edge of our mat. And we're gonna start off in like a little star pose here, okay? So toes are turned out ever so slightly, heels are in, arms are out nice and wide. Okay, and then fill up some space here, get really like big and wide, spacious. Good, and then exhaling, slowly come into a squat, hands at your heart center. Bend those knees, sink the hips back. Good, good. Okay, good, come back into your star. Exhaling, slowly lowering back down, goddess. Good, one more. Inhaling, opening up. Good, exhaling, hands at your heart center, goddess. Bend those knees. Okay, good, we're gonna stay here. Connecting your thumbs, hooking your thumbs, arms up over your head. Okay, we're gonna create those 3 circles that we did, seated, now standing. Okay, so we're gonna circle over to the left. Maybe the fingertips drop down and touch the floor. Maybe they don't worry too much about it. And then circling over to the right, and then circling back around left. So 3 circles in one direction. Staying low in your legs as best you can. Of course, always taking a break if you need to. Good, and then when you reverse the circle, switch the clasp of your thumbs and then move in the other direction. So 3 circles, starting off to the right, circling around to the left. Good, circling around. Use your breath. Stay strong in your legs. Last one. Good, slowly reaching back up, star pose. Turn your toes in, heels out. Exhaling, fold forward, wide leg forward fold. Okay, good. Hands under your shoulders. We're gonna lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhaling, fold back forward again. See if you can bring your fingertips in line with your toe tips. So your hands are really under your shoulders, and then your hands are in line with your feet. Good, going just a little bit deeper here for the stretch. Okay. Inhaling, lengthen up halfway again. Exhaling, folding forward again, forward fold. Thinking about your head dropping down towards the mat, tailbone up towards the sky. Keep straightening the legs a little bit more. Shift your weight forward towards the balls of your feet. Move your weight forward. Good, this time we're gonna lift up halfway. Hands are gonna join your hips. Use the strength of your legs to come all the way up to standing. Good, and then we'll move into Warrior 2 on the right side. Okay, so right toes turn out. We'll bend into the right knee just a few times. Arms reach out to the side, nice and wide. Okay, good. Okay, so we're only gonna move this back arm, okay? So we're gonna bring our back arm down, okay, to meet our right, okay? So they're just facing each other. And then we're gonna circle this back arm to left arm, back around. So just 3 circles moving down, forward, up and around. Good, third one. Let your fingertips follow, or your eyes follow your fingertips. Okay, good. And then we're gonna reverse the circle. So arm's gonna drop back, up and around. Good, and let your eyeballs follow your fingertips, okay, to kind of challenge your balance. Good, one more circle. Awesome, take a break, straighten that right leg, turn the right toes in, left toes out, warrior 2 on the second time. Second side, I should say. Good, okay, so once you find that warrior 2, we're just moving the back arm, so now the right arm, okay? So we're gonna drop the arm down, it's gonna come forward to meet the left, and we're gonna circle it up and down, good. Let your focus follow your arm, your fingertips. Okay, notice how that changes a few things in your body. Good, and then we're gonna slowly reverse the circle, dropping your arm down, circling up and around just 3 times, nice and slow. Keep breathing into those legs. Let your focus follow your hand. Good, and then on that last one, arms out nice and wide, straighten that left leg, turn the left toes in, and then warrior 2, second time around, there we go. So right toes out, warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Good, palms flip up towards the sky, reverse warrior. Exhaling, extended side angle. Good, inhaling, reverse warrior. Exhaling, extended side angle. One more time, reverse warrior. Exhaling, extended side angle. We're gonna hold this one a little bit longer, so your choice. Arm can be on the quad. You can bring your hand in front of your leg, okay? Maybe it doesn't even touch the ground, okay? Maybe you're using your hand to help balance you out here, or hand can go behind the right foot as well, okay? So whatever feels best for your body. I'm gonna do hand in front. I'm gonna not touch the ground, okay? Breathing deeply. Good, can we stay for 2 more deep breaths? Find a little bit more strength, find a little bit more lift. Exhaling, slowly release. Turn the toes in, left toes out, warrior 2 on the second side. Good, okay, great. Okay, Virabhadrasana 2 on the left. Palms flip up, reverse warrior. Exhaling, extended side angle. Good, inhaling, reverse warrior. Exhaling, extended side angle. One more, inhaling, reverse warrior. Holding this extended side angle a little bit longer, okay? And again, forearm down, hand in front of the leg or behind the leg, but feeling really active. So try not to like sink into the mat, feel yourself press away from the mat. Connect with your breath. Good, let's stay for 2 more deep breaths. Good, rise back up, turn those left toes in, legs are straight. Exhale, fold forward, forward, fold. Whew. Good, and if you want, you can hang on to opposite elbows or interlace your hands behind your back. Stretching your knuckles up over your head for a little chest expansion. Yeah, or if you, anything goes. If you want to grab your ankles, all are really great options here. Okay, great. Let's lower the hands down, okay? We're going to walk our feet in, heel toe them in, about shoulder distance apart. And we're going to keep the toes turning out. We're going to sink the hips. We're going to come into Malasana, okay? So hopefully our hips are feeling a little bit more warmed up, especially after coming into Goddess. But we're going to come into our squat. And squat might be, you know, hips up a little bit higher than your shoulders. That's okay. Eventually, you know, as you start to get used to the, you know, pose, your hips will dip down and be a little bit lower than your shoulders, okay? But don't worry too much about it. You can keep your hands forward. You can bring your hands together at your heart center, okay? And again, whatever feels best for your body, okay? I'm gonna sneak my little block for me under my hips for today, okay? Good, okay. Same for 3 more deep breaths here. Okay, good. From here, root down to rise up. Come all the way back up to standing. Good, and then exhaling, hands at your heart center. Good, shake your legs out, bring your legs together. Okay, good. Okay, so we're gonna come back up to the top of our mat here. Okay, inhaling, arms reach up over your head. Exhaling, folding forward, forward fold. Inhaling to rise up halfway, and then slowly just step back, downward dog your way. Okay, so any vinyasas you want to take, any more holdings, go for it. Okay, good. Pausing here in downward dog. Inhaling, we're going to shift forward, plank pose. Okay. And we're going to lower all the way down onto our abdominals, nice and slow, nice and gentle here, okay? Okay, good. From here, we're going to roll over onto our side, okay? So I'm going to roll over onto my left side. And again, you can choose whatever feels best, like for your camera, okay, wherever you're at here is totally fine. So I'm going to add just a little bit of strengthening exercises for us. Something I've just been kind of playing with, but in my own practice today, okay? So 2 different options here. You can be lifted up on your forearm, okay? Hand can be in front for balance, okay? If you get tired, this is still a lot of core work, you're welcome to lower down, hand under the head, or you can have your arms straight out, okay? So I'm gonna challenge myself today by having my hand in my little side plank variation, okay? My legs are at 90 degrees, so stacked right on top of each other, so hips and knees are stacked, okay? And then we're just gonna do some just little, I call them little clam diggers. We're just gonna do some clams. So we're just gonna open up the right leg and lower it down. And go really slow here, okay? So I'm gonna count to 30. Ah, it seems like a lot, okay? And you're like, wait, why are we doing this? This doesn't really feel like yoga, but these exercises is really great for our balance and our stability, right? And really great for any low back pain that we're having, any hip pain, okay? All these strengtheners are really great for our body, even though in the moment they feel like a little silly, okay? But I promise this will help us in our warrior threes, in our eagle poses, all of our balancing poses and everything. Okay, so I'm about halfway. Okay, this is 14. And actually this is 20. Sorry, this is 20 for me, so just 10 more. Good, keep breathing. Keep lifting. So again, try not to slump into that shoulder if you're on your forearm. Go nice and slow, nice and easy here. Good, about 5 more. 5, 4, woo, feeling the burn. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower all the way down. Okay, I'm gonna roll over onto my stomach here. Okay, good. I'm gonna lift up onto my forearms and elbows, coming into Sphinx pose. Okay, so sit up nice and tall. Gonna drop my right ear to my right shoulder. Good, lifting up, left ear to left shoulder. Good, coming back up and then lowering down, and then we'll roll over to the other side, okay? So I'm just gonna flip around just so I can keep seeing your beautiful faces, knees. Okay, so lifting up again onto whatever variation, your forearm, knees and hips are stacked 90 degrees here, and then here's our little clams, our little clam diggers, okay? Try to keep your feet together. Okay, keep being really mindful of this lengthening side, the side that's supporting you, okay? Whatever side you're on, just make sure it's nice and strong, that you're not sinking into your shoulder, that you're really pressing away. And if your head's down, you know, just be mindful. Are you kind of moving around? Can you really just isolate this top hip as you move here? Okay, good. And then just nice soft breath. Try not to rush through it, even though it feels like we're kind of rushing through it. Like 30 is a lot, right? Like we can go so much slower than what we're doing now. Okay, but just getting used to doing these little exercises here in our yoga practice, okay? Good. I can already tell for myself what side is a little bit weaker and which side is a little bit stronger. Okay, good. And again, I think I'm about halfway now. I'm trying to keep count as I'm talking on my hands here. Good. So we'll do about 10 more, okay? Good. Here's 7, 6, 5, woo! 4, it's always the last 10 that are really hard. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Slowly lower down. We're gonna come back onto our stomachs again, okay? And we'll come up into that Sphinx pose again. Okay, good. Lifting up nice and high here. Good. A few more deep breaths. Good. And then exhaling, we're going to lower down, hands under your forehead. Okay, we're going to bend our knees. We're going to bring our heels together. Knees can be slightly apart, it's fine, okay? And then we're going to lift our knees up off the mat together, and then we're going to just lower them down. So knees are going to hover and lift and lower, lifting and lowering. And again, that doesn't have to be super high, just activating the glutes, a little bit of the hamstring where the hamstring connects to the glutes, the glute medius, okay, and again, really good strengthener for our back and our hips. Good, let's do 10 more. Good, here's halfway, we got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Little window wipers, just shifting very slowly from right to left. Good. Okay, really wonderful. Okay, and then now with all of that strength work and stability work, okay, now we'll be able to feel these next stretches a little bit deeper here, okay? So take your time. You can, let's come up to downward dog, okay? So downward dog your way. Good, and then we're gonna slowly come on into a seated position, okay? So however you like to travel, you know, to the middle of your mat, to the top of your mat, you can jump, you can hop, you can try to scoot your legs through, lifting them up, okay? Lots of fun things to do, okay? Okay, good, and then I'm gonna turn to face you all, and again, you can face whatever direction feels best for your camera situation. Okay, right ankle up and over the left knee, okay? So here's that figure 4 shape seated, okay? But we're gonna come into double pigeon. So this is always an option if your knees are cranky, you can always come back to this position, okay? Otherwise, we're gonna fold the left knee in, okay? Right ankle over the left knee. Okay, so again, we're stacking our ankles, our knees, and our shins together here. And if your knees lifted up, this is where you can use a block or a pillow, and you can just slide it under, okay, if you need a little extra support. Arms reach out to the side, sitting up nice and tall, okay? And then keep this top foot, it's really important, this the top leg, that the foot's really active, okay? So if you can see the sole of your foot, okay, you're sickling your foot, which means you're torquing your knee joint. So you want to flex through your foot, so you might have to cross the ankle over a little bit more, or you might have to add a little extra padding or your hand underneath, okay? You can even come into like the other position. Okay, but just staying here for this nice big glute stretch here. Okay, so double pigeon, just another variation of the pigeons that we've been doing, okay? Good, and again, you can stay seated upright like this. This might be enough for you, or you can start to walk your hands forward, slowly folding forward. remembering, you know, we're always playing on the edge of what's uncomfortable that's pushing me to the next level, and what's uncomfortable that's harming me, that's causing me pain. Okay, and there's a pretty fine line, and here you can really tune in and start to sense that in these a little bit uncomfortable positions. Okay, so again, really listen so that you're not causing any harm to your body. All right, we're always practicing that ahisma. Okay. But we're challenging ourselves at the same time. Okay, good. Slowly, we're going to gently release, okay? And as we release, you're gonna walk your hands back behind you, okay? You're gonna unwind your legs. You're gonna bring your legs about shoulder distance apart, feet on the ground, okay? And then again, window wipers to the right and to the left. Good. Let's do one more time. To the right, to the left. Good. And then knees back to the center, and then we'll switch sides, okay? So dropping this right leg down, left ankle over the right knee. Okay, so again, stacking your ankles, your knees, your shin bones on one another here. And again, don't worry if the knee's lifted, that's fine. You can always add support. Okay, I know I'm wearing like kind of big pants, so it kind of looks like my legs are together, but they're actually not. Okay, sit up nice and tall. Breathe. Notice how this side feels a little bit different. Maybe it's more comfortable. Maybe you have a little more discomfort. Okay, just check in. Good. Moving those kramas, so stay upright, or maybe start to walk forward a little bit, or you can kind of ease in and out, going back and forth, going forward and upright. Okay, always, you can always play with moving in these positions. Good. Good. Make sure that top leg is active, the foot is active, like you're standing on the ground, right? Because eventually this is a pose balancing with your left foot on your left elbow on your hands, right? In some crazy yoga world, that is the pose, okay? Good, and then just a few more moments here again. Find your breath, find that release. Okay, really great, everyone. Okay, very slowly start to inch out of this, okay? And we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do those little window wipers, okay? So when you unwind your legs, just go slow, be mindful. If you need to shake them out first, that's fine, okay? It actually feels pretty good. And then we can come into those window wipers. So my knees are pretty far apart, about shoulder distance or even wider, and then we're just gonna go from left to right, just back and forth, letting the hips rotate in and out. Okay, good. Okay, and then we're gonna stay like this, okay? And again, you can adjust as you need to on your mat, okay? So we're gonna let our knees and everything fall over to the right, okay? And then we're gonna lift up, okay, so that we're seated and a little bit more balanced. So as of right now, my left foot, I'm on the inside of my left foot and the inside of like my left knee, okay? And then my right leg is forward. I'm sitting up nice and tall. And this is pigeon pose, okay? So you can slowly fold forward here onto your forearms, okay? Notice how this stretch feels in the inside of your inner thigh. Just stay here for a moment, okay? I know it can feel like a little awkward, okay? And then from here, we'll come into actual pigeon, okay? Unless you're like, ooh, I like this stretch. I can really feel something different. Okay, so otherwise you can start to straighten the left leg, okay? And then again, you might have to adjust like I am. I have to kind of pick my hips up and create some space here. And then you can slowly lower down onto your forearms or arms straight out in front of you. Okay. Okay, and then, you know, if you want that little Danielle adjustment, okay, like I'm coming over, you know, placing my hands on your hips to kind of press them back and down towards the mat and towards your heel. Okay, a little self-adjustment you can do. You can walk your hands just over to the left. Okay, so hands just move to the left. And then you can press your hands into the mat to sink your hips over to the right a little bit. Okay, but still think about that left hip dropping down. This is just to kind of add a little bit of resistance, a little bit of pressure. Again, like I came over to give you an adjustment. I know it's not the same, but you know, we'll do what we can to learn these little adjustments on ourselves, okay? Okay, great. Okay, let's slowly walk our hands back to the center, walk our hands back under our shoulders, and then we're gonna bend, we're gonna lean over to the right to bend the left knee, okay, and we're gonna come back into those little window wipers, okay? So again, a little bit different way of coming into pigeon pose than we're used to probably, but you know, it's kind of good to change it up a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going back and forth a few times, again, just to kind of clean out the hips. And then I'm gonna let everything fall over to the left, and then again, I'm rolling onto the inside of my right leg here at first. So I'm like in this little double stag. I'm sitting up nice and tall, and then I'm gonna fold over my left leg like I'm in, this is kind of like a half pigeon pose, okay? So half pigeon here. Good. And some days, you know, I feel a huge stretch in my left glute. Today, for some reason, I'm really feeling it like really in the groin area, okay, almost like where my groin attaches to like my pelvis. I'm feeling a nice big stretch in my inner thighs. Okay, and again, you're welcome to stay here, okay, or we'll start to move into full pigeon, or full sleepy pigeon. The requests all around, right? So right leg will straighten, again, adjust as you need to so that you can create some space for your hips to go somewhere. And again, no pressure on that left knee joint. Okay, good. And then of course, the same variation you took on that first side, you'll want to take on the second side. So again, if you want to have that little extra adjustment, hands will walk forward and then over to the right. And then you'll press your hands down actively to press your hips just a little bit over to the left. Good, and then you want to keep pretty even though, so you want to keep your weight still sinking down towards the right front of the right hip. Good, nice easy breath, full breath here. And really, we did a lot of hip openers today. We started off, you know, with easy cross-legged position, folding forward in the hips. Okay, we did figure four, seated figure four on our backs. Okay, warrior two, goddess pose, malasana. Those are also all hip openers as well. Okay. And then we did our double pigeon pose into our pigeon pose. So, you know, our hips are transforming as we move through our practice. And then also I added those strengtheners in, okay, that probably made our hips feel maybe a little bit tighter. So again, just all those observations, all of those nuances in our body, okay, all those subtle changes, things that you notice, okay. We all got to experience in 1 hour, okay? Okay, take your time. You're gonna bring your hands back to the center. You're gonna walk your hands back under your shoulders. Okay, and this time we're gonna lean to the left to swing the right leg around. Okay, and this time we're gonna make our way onto our backs. And this is where we're gonna use our pillow or block for our twist, okay? So go ahead and hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice big hug. Rock from side to side. Okay, good. And then go ahead and place your feet down. You're going to take your pillow or your block, okay? Or if you're not using a prop, it's fine. Just bring your legs together. Okay, we're going to hug the block pillow in between our legs. Let your legs fall over to the right. Okay, and again, stacking everything up. Okay, so my hips are stacked, my knees are stacked. Okay, my ankles, I'm letting them relax a little bit here, okay? And then I'm gonna reach my right arm forward just a little bit. Okay, so then I have somewhere to go with this left arm as I reach back. Okay, and then really again, twisting from the belly button up. Try to keep this left hip pressing forward. Okay, and you do that by squeezing your inner thighs together. Do that by squeezing the pillow, by squeezing the block, by squeezing your legs. So make this a nice active twist. Notice how your breath changes here. See if you can go back to that nice smooth inhales, smooth exhales. Okay, good. And then from here, we're going to unwind, and then we're just going to go straight to the other side right away. Ooh, okay. Readjusting, knees fall over to the left, stacking the hips, stacking the knees, squeeze the block, and then again, slowly just reach those left fingertips out to the left just a little bit so that when you open the right arm up, your rib cage has somewhere to go. Good. And you have a little bit more space through that upper back. Good. Keep squeezing your legs together. Keep thinking about that right hip pressing to the side or forward to the side. Nice active twist. Good. We'll slowly unwind, okay? And again, if you're using a prop, we're gonna use this one last time, and if you're not, don't worry about it, okay? It's not a big deal. Okay, we're gonna slide the pillow or block under our hips, okay? And we're gonna end in our Shavasana in supported bridge pose, okay? So, and again, if you're not using a prop, don't worry about it. You can end exactly the same way that we're ending here, okay? So having your feet down, knees bent, okay, arms out to the sides, hips are lifted, okay? Or you can straighten your legs out, okay, like you would for Shavasana. And again, only if that feels okay on your low back, okay? The third option is coming into legs up, up the block, up the wall, okay? So you'll lift one leg up, then the other, and you'll just let your legs dangle and float here. And again, if your hips are on the ground, just keep them on the ground and let your legs lift up if that feels good, okay? So we'll end in this like little inversion. And of course, regular Shavasana is always an option, okay? So you can always go to that as well, okay? So let your breath go. Again, let yourself connect to the earth and feel grounded and supported. Let your breath move through your entire body, your entire being. And wherever you're at, slowly start to lower your legs down or bending your knees, planting your feet onto the mat. Slowly lifting your hips and taking the prop out from underneath you. Good, okay. And then keeping, a little bit with the theme here, go ahead and hug your knees into your chest, and we're gonna rock forward and backwards to come up to a seated position. And again, one hand on your heart, one hand connected to the earth, the ground. Notice how you feel. Notice how you've transformed in this hour. Slowly bring your hands together at your heart center. Take a nice big deep inhale in through your nose. Big exhale out through your mouth. And slowly just begin to smile in honor of your practice. Go in peace. Shanti.